Good afternoon and good day to everyone wherever you are. Uh, Welcome back. This is part two of our series of the podcast. We had the part one where we talked about digital security and data privacy in healthcare. This part, it's talking specifically, we'll talk about the New World Foundation as well as the IJGIS, the journal, which is a publication offshoot of the New World Foundation. And welcome back, everyone. For those who are part of the who were the audience for part one, uh, and for those who are new, I'll just give a quick introduction about our guest one more time. It's worth listening again. He is a highly decorated expert in digital security, cyber security, and he has done lots of wonders in the world of innovation research. Saurav, thank you so much for joining us again. And
Thank
I
you.
hope our audience will make the best use of your knowledge, which you will be sharing across, and how they will. This is kind of more of a tangible session, which they will be able to learn a lot and actually apply and utilize in their journey for becoming a writer, a publisher, a researcher, and kind of move on there, advance their careers. If they are, even if they are a student, they are professional, they are a researcher, they are an inventor, whatever they are. This is going to provide a great platform. Let me, for the sake of our new audience who have joined for the first time on this podcast, or probably they didn't attend the part one of the series, just give them a brief introduction about you. So thanks everyone for joining. We have Saurav Bhattacharya here, who is a prominent figure in cybersecurity and digital privacy. He has a rich career right now undergoing in Microsoft, where he serves as a technical lead. He has spearheaded numerous innovative solutions and digital transformation projects as well. And his focus is specifically on cybersecurity, fraud prevention, data privacy. Saurav is a master's and BTech, MTech and BTech degree holder in computer science and engineering from IIT Kharagpur in India. So apart from his role in Microsoft, and this information is important because that's what the whole crux of our podcast is today. Saurav is the president of the New World Foundation, which is a non-profit dedicated to fostering global innovation through education, research, and collaboration. He's also the editor-in-chief for International Journal of Global Innovation and Solution, IJGIS in short. So you'll keep hearing the TNWF and IJGIS over the period of next 1 hour. And he oversees multiple publications through these two initiatives, the groundbreaking research and everything. He's himself is a prolific author. His bestseller book on cybersecure was really it was one of the bestsellers in the market earlier this year. He has wide range of expertise, and then without wasting further ado, let's jump into the discussion. Sort of before I start, kind of extracting all the knowledge out of you and the information out of you about these two innovative platforms. I'll rather use that one platform because this is going to give a launchpad to lots of people. So let me just kind of rewind where we left off in the part one of our podcast. We talked a lot about the various measures, the innovations, and what are the challenges healthcare organizations face as part of cybersecurity, cyber threats rather, and what measures they can undertake to secure and privatize their data, which is, here we are dealing with patient health data, not general any specific data, which is like as per the HIPAA guidelines. And most of the GDPR in Europe and HIPAA in US, most of the organization, they take this very seriously and securely. We touched upon, as we were ending last podcast, we touched upon the idea of utilization of AI in securing the data security, in securing the overall healthcare system from the data perspective, from the privacy perspective. So I'll just give you a quick kind of a small thing about what I was today morning. I was making a presentation in for one of the journals in one of the conferences, where we talked about the RNN, the recurring neural networks, the CNN, convolution neural networks, how we are kind of building upon algorithms to detect the potential threats, not even the actual threats, the potential threats, by identifying data patterns based on the past data which is fed into the system, and the memory which is updated, the memory cell through the RNNs, the modified RNNs which are updated. It's helping organizations to identify those small cues to proactively work on it, and in time detect these cyber attacks on the healthcare data and the healthcare system overall, and prevent those from becoming a major catastrophe. So just wanted to know your thoughts on this, and after this question we'll jump on to the subject of our discussion of this podcast. So what do you think, like, what's the typical role of AI overall, AI, Gen AI in cybersecurity? How organizations then can probably collaborate together to utilize the AI, the data sets, which are kind of very important as part of creating that the AI model to feed to the system, and they are able to get the system to kind of become learn from the previous mistakes, learn from the past incidents, and how the organizations they can secure and safely safeguard themselves from the dark AI, because AI is not just being used by the organizations themselves, even the malicious the cyber goons, or the people who are attacking the systems, they themselves are utilizing AI to come up with new ideas to how to hack into the system, how to breach the data, and all those things. I'll take a pause. I'll let you answer. I'm sorry, I was talking too much.
No, no, thank you so much for introducing me. Sorry, and also, yeah, thanks for continuing the conversation from last time. And yeah, this is an important fact of point that you have raised here. And as you rightly mentioned, that yes, AI is being used by both sides of the equation. The
Hmm.
protection side and the attackers are also using them. And the using well, in the cybersecurity side, what we are seeing is that data analysis, ML based anomaly detection, I think you just also pointed out,
Yep.
is being used for understanding network intrusions, network disparities that might lead to understanding of where a cyber attack might be starting from. That's one
Hmm.
example. Well, these days, Gen AI, as you also mentioned, has been coming in. So, how can Gen AI help? Well, Gen AI can act as AI assistant, kind of, to
Hmm.
help navigate the system diagnostics itself. For
Okay.
I'm just giving an
Good idea.
example for a system admin, if they wanted to have a full health checkup of the system, any unauthorized accesses or anything like that, they
True.
are able to do that through a generative AI solution. And dark AI. So we have to be like understand that the way that AI is being used for malicious purposes,
Hmm.
they are used for the kind of applications where we see that AI is able to mimic human behavior,
True.
and that is why phishing and deepfake, you might have heard of the
Yep. Yep.
audience might have heard, deepfake has been increasing. The political campaigns are now being even made by deepfakes, and so these are different types of phishing attacks
Hmm.
where the vulnerability itself is best protected beforehand, before the so it's a matter of the public getting more aware. Again, coming back to awareness and keeping abreast of the news, especially if you're an IT professional or leader who has responsibility to keep your system secure, to always be in the cutting edge of what is going on and what are the kinds of attacks happening and what are the kinds of um, vulnerabilities that are being shared on the industry channels. Anything suspicious that you see in your own network should be reported as soon as possible to law enforcement, and then the processes can be started for recovery and other post-incident reports can be done.
Got it.
But general awareness and following the best practices, those are always the first things that are the most vulnerable, that we or the cyber vigilance, basically, to having that vigilant mindset of really being cyber secure
Hmm.
in a sense, and making those choices for keeping security our top priority. That is the best way that even in this age of AI, that we can be best protected against attackers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Saurav. I think so. Those are wonderful thoughts. You gave some good key pointers here. One is like situational awareness, being cyber aware, and then being cyber vigilant as well. So I'm sure we are the audience as well as the people who will be listening is they will surely gain a lot of insight from these thoughts which you shared. Thank you so much. And then without wasting further time, let's jump into the topic, the favorite topic for everyone today. The we'll start off with introduction to the New World Foundation TNWF and the International Journal of Global Innovation and Solution IJGIS. So, Saurav, let's start off. I'll probably, because we have like just 45 minutes to go, I'll club few questions together. You can probably give a response. I know you can just wake you at 3 a.m. in the morning and talk about this. You can do that. Tell me about like what was the vision behind this when you started. I think so. This the thought process came. I also remember you had created that kind of a thought process back in December when you raised that idea. We when we first heard about it, we were also quite apprehensive. We were not sure whether it will fly, it will not fly. We kind of took a backtrack, but you kind of silently, almost like solo warrior, you kept working on it, and then you came up with the not just the idea but the actual output and execution of the idea into reality. So tell us about how the idea came, the origin, the story behind coming up with the New World Foundation. What inspired you? How did you establish it? How did you go around with it? And similarly for IJGS as well, probably, and give us like how the connection and the dots can be connected between IJGS and TNWF.
Sure, sure. And thank you for bringing that point about the December meetings that we had.
Yep.
And so it actually started a couple of months earlier. I think
Hmm.
October, when I first saw that there was a gap. So our 9 to 5 professionals of the modern workforce, we are all professionals, experts, but we want to do more for the society, and that is not the common narrative that is always being sold everywhere by marketing or by in the capitalistic society. Everything is about money and buying and selling. There's nothing really that much about doing good for the world and actually wanting to do good for the good's sake. Now, that is when I found out, okay, probably a non-profit in this area could be something that make a structure and a goal around a common objective that folks have to do something good in this world. So, and yeah, so no monetary gain or anything like that, just for the
Sure.
good of the people, good from the heart to make the world a better place with like-minded people. And in the December meetings, obviously we came up and then we had those discussions. And well, long story short, we basically formed a non-profit foundation, and we started doing slowly with books and papers. And we can talk about the more specific details after that. But we what we realized is that we need to do some thought leadership,
Hmm.
because the professional community that we were all top world experts joined in one place for a networking, and we were able to find that common thread, like, okay, this is a need that we want to be able to do this thought leadership as industry experts, top world experts. So, and what we saw is there's a gap between actual experts, industry experts, and the research and innovation that is coming out of that space. All
Sure.
of that is really confidential business,
Yeah,
business
sure.
property and trade secrets, if you will. But it's not really benefiting the overall good, and there's a less idea cross pollination that is happening. It's only
Mm.
limited to the academia, right?
Absolutely.
So that is that gap that we saw, that the how can the real world, not only academia but the real world, the technology world, the industry can actually be one of the thought leaders in the space, in every space, in every technology, every industry. How can that happen? So that's when we formed the IJGIS journal.
Hmm.
Well, why? Because we are not academicians by profession. We are IT professionals. So for our unique case, we needed a specific kind of structure that we were not getting in addition existing academic journals. So that's why we use the peer-reviewed journal structure and
Absolutely.
created this IJGIS journal for especially for top world experts and tech professionals to come in and do industry leading thought leadership and produce books, papers, publications, patents. Also, we can talk about that as well.
Absolutely.
So that's how the journal came into being. And the journal came. So the first we had the non-profit, and then the journal came in, and then we were like, okay, what we are essentially doing here is from our expertise. It was like it's the intersection between what is our expertise and what the world needs. And the world needs innovation. That's
Yep.
what it is really, right? So how can our expertise, how can our thought leadership can push forward those innovations, push forward those solving those world's problems that are out of reach from other areas or academicians or even high tech and the tech industry where that kind of activities are not happening, whereas in the academia that kind of exposure to the world's problems are not happening. How can we make that intersection and then provide a standard platform like with a journal for the members that we have in our foundation, in our nonprofit, to come in and produce those knowledge works for to benefit the humanity, solve its problems, and produce innovation and move the thought leadership forward in their respective fields of thought.
Great thoughts there, Saurav. And I really I can corroborate for what you mentioned, because some area or some aspect of that I was there as part of the journey, although just more of an observer rather than being a participant. But I remember before that meeting, which happened in December, for me, NGO or a non-profit organization would be like feeding the poor, helping the downtrodden. Those are very, very novel and honorable things which they are doing people around the globe. But I never thought like probably we can have some kind of a non-profit in research as well. Because for me, before this, I used to think research means you have to be a master's, you have to be a PhD, you should be associated with any college, university, etc, and then only you have some kind of a blessing of a professor or something. I never thought like for us people with 10, 15, 20 years of experience, we have actually utilized the research ideas which we kind of the research brain we left in the college, and then we moved on to the corporate world. We can actually reignite those ideas and come up and start contributing to the society from the IT, from the knowledge perspective as well. So that was a great thought. And probably this idea comes to the picture like the what people are doing to help the poor and the downtrodden. That's very important. But here this is a situation where we are giving a platform for people to rise. So we are kind of, it's the proverb we have like, give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day, and teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. So that's what we are doing, like creating researchers who will grow in their experience and their corporate ladder up the scale. They will earn a lot, what, and they will grow professionally, and then they will go out and help the society monetarily and socially, and probably through whatever the means possible in future. So thanks for those thoughts. Saurabh, we have a lots of questions, so I will request you to answer each and every one of them. So let's go a little bit faster.
Hmm.
So as far as I know, the right now TNWF and IJGF have more than 100 plus members, and within like 6 months, the membership growth has been phenomenal. Talk to us about how people can get membership, how they can come in. Talk about like the students, the tech professionals, even the non-tech, because I know a few of the people who are part of IJGS journal. They are civil engineers, some of them they are HRs, not related to IT organizations. So they are coming and they are contributing, they are creating papers as well. So how can you a person can come and become a member? What should be the compelling reasons for them to join and become the member? How they can collaborate and network once they join in? What would be the next steps they have to undertake? And then what does, as the foundation, as the New World Foundation, what are I gave you some examples because I'm a little bit aware. What probably you have some more information in the diverse background of the TNWF membership, and how does the foundation, it ensures that the variety of voices and the perspective which are joining in as members. I've seen like every day we are seeing at least 3 4 new members coming. I know we wave them, we welcome them into the group. So how the diversity and inclusion can be included from every thought process, every idea. So give us the details and the actuals and your perspective on this.
Yeah, thank you. So this is an amazing community, right? We write
I know.
papers, we write books, we write conference, we present at conferences, we have filed patents before to publish our thought leadership. If you want to grow in your career, right? If you want to take that next step to become a world expert in your field of expertise, the things that we are doing in our foundation, you should be doing that.
Absolutely.
It is a mandatory thing for you to have a voice out in the open in your field of expertise as a thought leader to really grow your influence in your field of expertise. So what we are doing here is absolutely aligned with your growth. So as you rightly put that it's a platform for nurturing talent, nurturing experts, and providing them the support that they need to fulfill their own potential. Absolutely, it is. And we welcome all tech professionals who have some significant work experience, say in the last 5 years or so. So we do have a little bit of a bar
Mhm.
because we do want to ensure that we are meeting you at a place where you are able to produce your thought leadership. So it would help to have some work experience, 5, 10 years. If you have had work experience, significant work experience in the last 5 years, that would be a good place for you to start thinking about, okay, what else can I do with my career now except just doing my day job? How can I actually also produce thought leadership and produce that impact and influence outside of my company in my industry? So that is one important thing. And we collaborate. So the way that we have is it's an open forum.
Mhm.
All people can see everybody, and all public messages are viewable by everyone. No matter when you join the community, you will be able to see the history of all the messagings and all the communication that has happened. Anyone is free to propose a new idea or innovation, and it is supported by other folks who jump in and want to contribute to your idea and help refine it, help flesh out the details, and actually make it ready for publication. So you'll have a lot of support from the community for your idea as well. So, for example, very often I see somebody posting a message, hey all, I want to write a paper on topics X, and
Mhm.
this is what I think it is about. Who all want to jump in and start contributing with me to make this happen? And folks will join in. Yeah, I will join in as author. I will review the paper, and we figure out the team, and then we have the processes in place, and the details are there in the website. I can post that link afterwards in the show
Sure.
notes. So that process is there, that structure is there for you to be able to come in and actually start making impact immediately. So that is one another reason I would say that please do come in. And you talked about diversity. Our foundation is truly diverse, right? We have experts from all fields of technology, from cybersecurity to cloud AI, from healthcare
Healthcare.
to manufacturing, everywhere. All the gamuts are counted for. This diversity is the part of TNW's mission to solve the big problems of the new world, the next world where the problems are becoming more complex and require cross-domain expert collaboration to actually produce those innovations and solve those problems. So that's very core to our mission. Um, well, anything else you want to know
Yeah,
about?
just in just one line, tell us about like what a person who is still not a member or who is learning about TNWF and IJGS, what is their note? I know I have also in the invite, the podcast invite, I had mentioned about and with the links as well, and you'll also share across the links. So what
Sure.
they do need to do, they just go on a website, and then what are the next steps they need to do? Just click on
Oh, yeah.
become a
Oh,
member.
yeah. You can actually go to start with the website,
Hmm.
have a look into the information there.
Sure.
Any if you have any questions, any doubt, anything you have there, we have an email there. You can
True.
email your resume, your background, and we will start the discussion. So you can actually start the discussion right by going to the website, getting a little familiar with the basics that we have there,
Mhm.
and then sending out an email, and then we can start the process at that point.
Sure, absolutely. So, just for the audience sake, it's a very, very simple, usable website. You can the information is very clear. There is a become a member tab or button as well. You can just click, and it will take you and where you can provide all the information. I myself had gone through it initially as well. Sort of coming back to IGGS is one of the main focus area of this discussion today we have on the podcast. What, according to you, makes IGGS unique? And if you have some thought process which went behind and how it has grown over the last 6 8 months. I think so January it was since when we started, or rather probably January or March, between January and March when it actually came into existence, the portal and everything. So the last 6 to 8 months, how it has grown and what makes it unique.
Yes, absolutely. So the thing that makes it unique is again in our roots that it is coming from tech professionals who
Mhm.
actually wanting to do good by producing thought leadership in their fields of expertise. That is one unique factor that we don't see in other journals anywhere, because all the other journals are academic journals and produced by academic
Got it.
population folks, right?
True, true, true.
And the tech professionals, they are not doing this kind of thought leadership in journals. So that is one unique characteristic that we have. And obviously we are working to solve the world's problems through groundbreaking research and innovations. That is coming also from the tech industry, which is not something we see. Tech industry is mainly seen as a capitalistic system, and doing good, you're right, doing good from a tech professional is seen like, oh wow, you do good as well. Somebody from big tech or tech industry who is always in their career, how could they be given a chance to actually do something good with the
Mhm.
expertise that they have and the best value that they have? How to utilize that? And obviously we so this is learning and growing is a lifelong activity, right? So we support the research activities of our experts
Mhm.
through the different resources that we have, to the platform that they have to fulfill their career potential via the thought leadership that they are doing in our books, papers, and conferences and patents. So this is something that is not really provided by any other journal. If you say that they don't really provide books, conferences, patents, and papers, all of these things for a budding professional or a world expert who wants to do some world world groundbreaking research and innovation to solve some problem of the world. That umbrella is really missing
Mhm.
in the current world. So that's the gap that we try to fill with this TNWF and IJGIS both, to give the voice, give that structure, produce that platform, such that we have that talent that is there, the research and the knowledge, all of it is there. It just needs to be tapped and given a voice and given support and platform to be able for them to thrive.
Wonderful thoughts, Saurabh. And I will probably add to a couple of points which you mentioned about the collaboration. The IJGS platform, for our audience sake, it gives us a very unique platform where you meet new people almost every day. It can be as simple as like you popping up into the chat messaging and you just say hi to a person. The person contacts you. You know each one of them. They provide a full detail about their profile. They share their LinkedIn profile. They share their expertise. We have a separate expertise group as well within the community, so where we know each about each other. And I'll just give you a very kind of unique example about cross collaboration. I am a healthcare expert, although I am in IT as well, and I met one of the friends in IJGS, the New World Foundation, when we became members. Uh, he is a civil engineer, and you will not believe, we kind of had a discussion a couple of times and we came up with an idea to write a research paper on one of the articles. We're still still debating and starting with the concept only. It's still like in a very nascent state. But I would have before, without joining this platform, without joining IGG, I would have never thought a healthcare professional and a civil engineer can collaborate to come up with some new idea, a new research paper, or new thought process which we can probably put into in writing and share it across with the world. So that's one of the great examples of cross collaboration. I'll move to the next point about mentorship and skill development. I know you'd mentioned the membership, the minimum bar is like 5 to 10 years of experience where we have research. But I myself, I am one of the examples. Like there are lots of new ideas and thought process within the industry. I thought healthcare is not impacted by them. But when I saw people discussing, talking about that, and even writing articles about that, new ideas keep propping up. So we have people who have some high level of expertise, some people who are like a little bit on an entry level from the membership perspective. Some people, they are kind of, they join but they are fence sitters, they are a little bit apprehensive. So how does IJGS and TNWF as a whole, it provides and aids in mentorship and skill development of all the members who join this foundation?
Yeah, absolutely. So Well, as I said earlier, the learning and growing is always there. It will
Hmm.
always be a lifelong activity, no matter what our expertise is currently. And for the folks who are beginning in this journey, they are welcome to come in and actually use the platform to develop their own expertise. Well, refine their own expertise and produce the start producing and collaborating the thought leaderships. So we have a lot of resources available for the newcomers. They are able to see the we have several recordings of how to write a paper. We go through the entire process, writing the paper, submitting it for review, getting it reviewed, having it published, and showing it, having it indexed at all
Hmm.
the major uh, scholarly databases and scholarly websites like Google Scholar and ResearchGate and SSRN. These are the places where you will see your paper be published, and we have the support, and we support them, and we have the support of DOI and Crossref to be able to do those indexing, such that your paper and your ideas actually get voice and are actually published everywhere and are visible everywhere. Apart from that, I would say also keep be proactive, be active in the community. We collaborate, as you said. You have recently collaborated with somebody who's a civil engineer who you might not have done that before in your other activities. That is the kind of things that we want to nurture. Those are the kind of cross collaborative ideas that we want to actually work on to produce those kinds of unique problem solutions which are not generally seen in a different setting where you are in your silo and
Hmm.
only looking at the problems which are of your silo. So those are the kinds of cross collaboration and intersection opportunities that you can start looking into and start deriving value uh, from the community and creating those thought leaderships. And this is the need of the hour also, because there is a lot of unsolved problems. There's a lot of research and innovation that needs to happen in the cross domain space, and via the frontline workers like the IT professionals and the experts in the tech sector who have jobs, for them to come forward and do the thought leadership that we need, because though they know the exact problems that the businesses are facing, the industry, the economy is facing, they know about the exact on the ground what is going on more than what a professor in an academia setting would be able to. They might have some information and visibility, but not as much as somebody who is actually there, right there, working with those problems.
True.
So that is taking that as an opportunity for you to grow is a great direction in which you can actually develop your career and your expertise in your field of in your domain field.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for answering that question, Saurabh. So, as sort of just summarizing what you mentioned, in a very simple word, once you become the member, we have all the resources to help you support and grow. So, very simply put, right?
Yeah.
So, even if you have not never written a single line or paper earlier, but you have the expertise, you have the brains to utilize. So once you join the platform, the ideas keep coming in. I myself is one of the good examples. Like, I used to have lots of ideas. I have a notebook full of ideas, but I always used to like, will I be able to write? Am I capable enough? But then I saw some examples, the resources which are there, and there are slides and presentations which give step by step guide how to start, how to convert that idea into an abstract into a manuscript, and manuscript into an eventual publication. And then I can also vouch for the stringent peer review process which we have in place. We need to have like at least 3 peer reviews giving a sign off before any paper is published. So rather, I'll not take the stage from you. I'll let you answer. So what I need to, like, people want to know what's the typical publication at IJGS. If you have to publish a paper, publish any article, what's the typical process? How do you start off with that?
Yeah. So again, the detailed process in the website. We will
Mhm.
share a link to it, but it is similar to any peer-reviewed scholarly journal
Got it.
that we have right now. Authors will come in and work together and submit a manuscript. We have reviewers who will be assigned, who will provide their comments on the manuscript. those comments would need to be made changes for by the author, and then once the reviewers are finally approved that, accepted those comments and changes have been made, that they it can go for publication. That is when the paper goes for publication. So that is a basic high level view. Obviously we have our processes as to the tools that we use for those things,
Mhm.
but those are very good intuitive tools that you can come in and use. And any support you need for any other part of the publication process, we are ready to help you and support you to make that paper publishing a reality.
Absolutely.
And I can talk about the books also if you want, but
Yeah, that was actually my next question. You read my mind here. I want to talk about books. I know we have at least half a dozen to almost close to 10 plus books which are in the process. Some of them I think so as early as next month, in early September we might see some publication with the IJGIS support coming out in the market. Those books, both of us, we are also uh, collaborating on a couple of authorship for these books. So talk about how the books writing process, because I know there are a lot of people who want to advance their careers. They want to have their name written as I am the author of so and so book. So how can they do that once they join TNWF and they start working in IJGS?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have strong partnerships with industry-leading IT publishers like Springer Nature and BPB
Okay.
Publications. We have contacts with them. We are currently working, as you said, with multiple projects and books which are nearing completion in the next month or so. And the process is very simple. You essentially write up your book proposal idea.
Hmm.
You present it to the foundation's members, and you present it to the board, and the board will then look into the paper and say, give you more, ask for more details. And then once we have those details, core concept of the book, we will start writing the book proposal for the different publishers that we have: Springer Nature, BBB, and others, and Lambert Publishing and others. So
Hmm.
at that point, when we give the proposal, after that the book publisher will sign the contract. It will be through the New World Foundation,
Got it.
and you as a volunteer expert coming and authoring it. And then there is the book timeline itself. There will be a timeline, mid timeline, and end timeline for submitting the paper, submitting, sorry, the chapters of those books.
Hmm.
Those deadlines will then be also, there will be deadlines for the reviewing of each of the chapters of those books, and then they'll go for final review for the editor of the publication, and then the production process will start after that. So it's a
Okay.
common like a book publishing process,
Hmm.
but we are the foundation was closely involved in it and helping you support through each of those parts, so make that book a reality, and also helping that collaboration that you need for different books, because you might be co-authoring with multiple people. You might be writing chapters
Hmm.
might be written by multiple people.
Correct.
So collaborating on those chapters, and then we support you to keep making progress on them and keep following up and giving you the information from the publisher wherever it comes in, such
Hmm.
that you are in your best foot and you can actually deliver the full project. And we expect you to actually, we expect excellence from you. We expect that you will have a great product. So we support you through that journey, and we have had great success. About one to three books now, two books now having already been submitted, all chapters submitted, one
Yeah.
another book in the next couple of weeks. And next month we are starting to do the publication process. Right now they are going to review.
Hmm.
So we know how it is done. We have gone through the process and we have had been successful in it. So we are waiting for folks to come in and join us, join in their thought leadership and come up with those topics, and then help us create those thought leadership in their expertise. And the foundation will help you, and the foundation will give you the resources and the support and the platform.
Absolutely. Sure. Thanks so much, Saurabh, for sharing that information. My next question is about patents. So we have seen some of the papers, white papers being written as part of the publication IJGS journal, and we had some new great novel ideas, not just like research articles from the existing thoughts which are there in the market or in the industry, but we have seen some novel ideas coming, and that has actually led to some patent related ideas. I know we have one of that forum where we specifically discuss about patents. People are coming up with ideas. Give us some more information about how IJGS can, or probably I'll talk about TNWF here. They can help kind of create that patents. How they can submit those patents, get the approval process, help in the approval process. And once it is done, how can they can protect the intellectual property or intellectual idea of that patent, which will be going into execution. So
Yes.
what role does TNWF and IJGS play in overall?
Yes, that is a very important fact, and we understand the need to protect IP novel
Mhm.
ideas, not only for just protecting your idea because it's yours, but also so that the application of that idea is done correctly
True.
as intended. So for those reasons, we support patents, and we also have tie-ups with different patent attorneys for protecting your IP, protecting your idea, your new innovation. As you said, whenever sometimes somebody will come up with a paper topic, sometimes those topics are so novel, they might get a patent on it, and
Yep.
that has happened at least once or twice.
Mhm.
And we have been in the process of getting patent for those. One of them we already got the patent and it has been granted. So
Oh,
the
wonderful.
process essentially is, yeah, so the process essentially is, it's similar to writing a paper, but you draft the idea of your patent, you draft it in as much detail as possible, and
Mhm.
you send it to the foundation. The foundation will help refine it a little bit and help collaborate with other people also interested in that same patent area to
Correct.
make it ready for submitting to the patent attorney. Now, the
Mhm.
patent attorney now will come in and they will have their own mapping of the information in the draft that you have given into their specific format
Mhm.
of
Yep.
how to submit the application for the patents in the
Mhm.
patent offices all over the world, all the countries we have able to get patents for. And once that is done, you essentially then are waiting for a few months or so,
Mhm.
depending on the country that you are chosen for the getting the patent, to get it approved, granted, and then your patent idea is protected. You can go ahead. So one more thing that I would like to also mention, that we created this program called Expert Service for Public Good, through which what we did is these patents that they have novelly created, the inventors are taking the lead in actually creating the applications based on those patents for the audiences, for the clients that are meant for those patent ideas solutions for.
Okay.
So like for example, the one of the recent patents that we got granted was AI driven cybersecurity assessments
Mhm.
that allows a client or a small business, because small businesses are more vulnerable
True.
because of cybersecurity. They don't have the resources of big tech that
Mhm.
uh, big tech and other large organizations have. So small businesses, schools, hospitals, these are vulnerable public utilities, but if something goes wrong, it's really bad.
Mhm.
So they need to be protected, and we saw this gap, and we said that okay, we can start making cybersecurity assessments for them, at least the basics, the that are needed, that will count for 90% of all cyber attacks that they might be vulnerable for. So we created this process, and it was novel enough that we could file a patent for it. We got it granted. It's almost in the last legs, and now we are working with the clients, other small businesses, and schools and hospitals to actually implement and give them the report, the cybersecurity assessment of their systems,
Mhm.
and uh, we have had great response as well. We have had a very positive response from the clients, that they really appreciated and actually got benefit from the first assessments that we did, cybersecurity assessments that we did. And
Wonderful.
um, that is, those are the kinds of things that is meaningful for us, rather than okay, these many papers we wrote, or these many books we wrote, right?
True. True. True.
The more meaningful impact that you see is when you actually get testimonials from the people who have impact, whose lives have been impacted
Mhm.
positively through the work that we do. So when that happens, it's very nice. It's a very good feeling to have that.
Absolutely. Even that's some of the last part which you mentioned more, that's news to me as well, because even I was not aware that the patent is already granted.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah. No, go ahead, please.
No, it's a recent development, so probably
Oh,
that.
okay, okay, yep, yep. And I need to be a little bit more abreast on the development. So I totally understand what you have mentioned. Like not only just putting ideas onto paper, becoming an author or a scholarly writer, but we are actually utilizing those ideas and the innovative thought processes into more of a tangible realization. and implementing those ideas into the real world. So those are really good ideas. I know we just have 10 minutes to go. I have three more areas which I need to touch upon, uh, and probably if we can take 5 more minutes, because of
Sure.
some technical glitch we started a little bit late. uh, we people always, like most of the people, like for advancing their careers, they want to have kind of identify themselves like we have to publish only in high impact journals. We have
Mm.
to publish in some of the well known journals, the Springer Natures and all those things. I know, totally respect where they are in the position, but they also might have started at some place whenever they started. So people keep asking me as well, and we see a lot of questions of new members who join in. What is the citation score of IJGS? What is the H index? What is the impact factor? And I, like, if you do, I know I can do a quick Google search, or probably I ask any chatbot saying, hey, how do we create a H index or an impact factor? It'll give a detailed answer. It takes time, couple of years, 3 years to create the citation index, and at least 2 years to create the H index and the impact factor. But I'll probably want to hear from your thought process and what is going on in IJGS, how we are elevating its impact, how we're elevating it to become at par or probably catch up with the leading journals in the industry. And then you already talked about the publication partnership, so you need not touch about that, because we, as you mentioned, we have a publication tie-up with lots of reputed publishers, as well as collaboration with the journals as well for publishing the book. So let's talk about where we are right now, what's the process, and then how we plan to take IJGS to the next level.
Absolutely. So the processes for IJGIS. So let me first start by saying that the innovation, right? The
Hmm.
innovations that we do in IJGIS, it's all about getting to a place where we are innovative and we are solving the world's problems. We are utilizing our expertise, and the way to do that is by actually focusing on the, not only the work that you're doing, but also the people you're doing it with,
Hmm.
because it is very important for you to form a network of people who are a closed network of people who are invested in the same thing that you are, and working on the same goal that you are, and that is much more powerful over a long term than just individually creating a name for yourself in different
Correct.
places. So the reason I'm saying is that because yes, we are new right now. We have been in only a few months. The TNWF has been a few months. IJGIS was only April, was the first issue that we had.
Yep.
But we have made good progress. But the point that I try to make is for the people who are looking to join right now and thinking about impact factor and other metrics, journal metrics that are being assessed for the journal's applicability for them to join, I would tell them that these factors, as you also rightly pointed out, is these are factors for more mature journals
Hmm.
who have already been in the space for 2 3 years. For them, those are the ways that you measure the metrics. Every organization goes through different phases of development.
Absolutely.
IJGIS is now in its growth phase. It is growing, as you said, also very fast.
Yep.
It is creating the thought leaderships. It's new. We are still figuring out how we do things. We're still figuring out the processes. It's a collaborative community.
I'd
This,
rather use the word evolving rather than figuring out. We are evolving every month. I've seen like positive changes happening in IGGS.
yes, absolutely. So
Hmm.
the thing is that as we grow, we'll evolve. As we
Yep.
take on more responsibilities and take on bigger challenges, we'll have to keep learning.
True.
And with that comes the opportunity of forming great partnerships, great collaborations, great network who have actually done the work together and grown together for an extended period of time. And
Hmm.
that is the benefit that you will get for joining an organization which is in its early stages.
Correct.
You will be one of the architects of how the foundation grows, how the things that is happening, what are the processes look like, or what are the programs that what are initiatives are there, how we can better support, how we can change the direction and set a direction for the foundation, how we can actually build on the mission of the
Hmm.
foundation. These are different things that are only applicable to you as a member of the foundation. Of course, you have your field of expertise, but you also have this ability to shape the foundation's journey and the direction of the foundations by becoming part of it early on, right? So that is one thing I would say, that you might have a good reason. If you're looking for impact, look from this perspective. Probably you might have impact over a longer term, more so if you join using this reasoning. That is one thing I would say.
Sure, sure, sure.
Another thing I would say about the citations and the H indexes and the impact factor is that yes, these are metrics, but there are more metrics. That these are not the only metrics.
Mhm.
There is something called research interest
Yep.
score in the ResearchGate website. There is a research interest score that is based on how many times your paper that has been indexed in ResearchGate gets clicked, and how many times somebody viewed your paper, somebody read your paper, not cited but just read your paper or
Mhm.
something for the paper, showing that they have a research interest in it. You'll be surprised of the new. So we are all started this last year only, right? Last year we started all this. Of the entire population, entire membership of ResearchGate, who started last year, 2023, our papers, IJGIS papers, are among the top 2% of
Wonderful.
research interest score in entire ResearchGate.
Wonderful.
That is a great testament of the work that we are doing, great testament to the innovations that we are doing. And more important, that the fact that we are new researchers in that sense, that we are able to make that impact.
So
That
that
means
gives us a very good indicator, like because as you mentioned and I also reiterated there, uh, creating an H index factor, a citation score for a journal, it takes time because they need to have sufficient data of 2 to 3 years before they can assign that number to any journal. So because it's hardly 4 months, 5 months old, 4 months only, I'll say. We started the first publication in April, and I'll actually reiterate what you just mentioned about being the top two views, 2% views in the research gate. I'll just give an example, very simple example for our audience to understand. Yesterday evening I linked one of my IJGIS papers on researchgate around 10 o'clock central time yesterday evening. And by the time I think so 12:30, when I hit the bed, I wound up everything and went to sleep. I just refreshed and saw I already had 5 views in that. In 2.5 hours already have 5 views on the papers. So that shows like there is a huge interest in the people, in the public, in the population out there, to look at what, and surely because the publication is coming through IJGIS, people know the quality of the outcome which is coming. It's a reviewed journal. The papers are stringently reviewed by multiple reviewers, not just one or two. At least three needs to sign off before it goes into publication. They know the quality of the outcome which are there as well. So absolutely, really good thoughts there, sort of, to at least tell the people who still like looking at IJG as a little bit of like a pinch of salt, whether they should join, whether they should spend their intellectual ideas on this journal. This is the numbers which we are talking about.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely,
Saurabh, I'll go to the next section. I know we are just 2 minutes, but I have two more questions to ask you. The last one will be I'll talk about the general future and all. But before we go that, I just want to ask you to provide us inputs on. I know we have people, lots of people from different parts of the countries coming in the United States. They work on work visas, different kind of work visas, which does not allow them to when they publish their book, when they publish the patents, etc. The monetary benefits, the royalty which gets derived out of that, it does not allow them to. So that's they keep thinking whether I should go ahead and publish a book, whether I should go ahead and file a patent and get my patent to be utilized by the clients, eventual clients, and what will happen to the intellectual property royalties and the monetary benefits I'm getting. So I know the TNWF plays a crucial role in this. And also we have a situation where we might be having some funds to support some very good novel ideas. So not let those thought process kind of go down the drain. But if there are some kind of funding activities required, the TNW can in future. I know we are very new right now, but in future we will be able to create some kind of a platform or a collaboration where we'll be able to fund as well as uh, kind of collaborate on the royalty received as well for these publications and for the budding writers and the authors. So just to give us a couple of minutes, give us some thoughts and what's the plan for future in this area, this scope.
Yes, absolutely. So one very important thing about TNWF is that our the IJGIS is there is no APC, there is no article processing fees. We are
Yep,
free to publish.
absolutely.
That is an important thing because we wanted to keep all our learning, all our resources free of cost to reduce any barriers or any obstacles anybody might have
Hmm.
to be able to do the good work that they are capable and should be doing. Like they for themselves they could be doing that to
Absolutely.
remove any kind of obstacles like that. So that's one thing that we had very clear from the beginning. Secondly, there are other things like there's some of the things like book publishing, right?
Hmm.
It has inherently an economic angle to it
Yep.
because books are published by publishers for economic reasons. They want to sell the books. However, to get access to those publishers, how can you do that as the visa restrictions you might have, how you cannot earn from any other activity apart from your day job? How could you do that? So the way that you do that is you actually don't sign the contract with the
Hmm.
publisher. The TNWF, they sign the contract.
But
We
we are still the authors, right? We still have the
You are
name
the
as the
authors.
author. Yep.
You are the authors. Your name is there on the cover. You get the full credit for having written the book
Hmm.
and support all the publishing and everywhere that we can support and share the publishing that, and we will be doing that coming next month as I speak about it. That is all there, you get all that, but the only thing is that the royalties would be going directly as donations to the foundation. That is both to support your activities as a book author because you are engaging in an economic activity that might be seen as economically valuable to you, but it would not because you are not actually signing the contract. You are not actually getting paid for the work. You are actually doing that as an expert volunteer, a volunteer author for the
Correct.
foundation to further its own purposes and its missions. So that part is good. The other thing is that some of the activities that we take part in do cost some money,
Hmm.
right? Not our internal activities, but interfacing with external services, like for example the patent attorneys that we work with, they will charge some money for applying for the patent.
Correct.
For this, we do two things. One is that we are always looking out for a better quality patent attorney and a lower cost one who can do the work with a lower cost.
Hmm.
And two, we are also developing in house as much as possible. We can develop in house the capabilities for producing a patent submission ready patent application such
Hmm.
that the application only the application charges to the country
Correct.
USCIS USPTO, sorry, in
Yes,
this
PTO. Yep.
case, or other countries' patent organizations that they charge. So
Hmm.
only that much, so that we reduce the cost there also. So our focus is to bring cost to zero, absolutely, and we are
Hmm.
making everything possible. We're trying to do everything possible to do that. And of course, as you said, there will be some things which will require some amount of money to be paid because of using some external services. How do we get for that? For that, we are looking for grants. We are working always for getting grants. We have got some grants in the past for using um, cloud and other technical organizations. They have their non-profit programs. We have got a couple of them grants for the resources that we are currently using, and we are continuing to look for grants for those particular expenses that we will have for using those external services whenever that is needed. But we are always trying to reduce the costs, and we're always trying to also increase the amount of grants we have. So we want to make it in a way that we are sustainable, but we don't want to increase the cost so much that we are relying on availability of funds to actually deliver on our innovation, because for us the innovation should be as seamless as possible and it has its own inherent merit. That
Hmm.
is one thing that we try to inculcate in our folks also. Like, this value is there, everybody wants to grow into their full potential, but we normally don't get that kind of a environment or a support where that kind of mindset could be nurtured. So
Correct.
we want to nurture that also, and because of that we have this setup as
No, thank you. Sort of like, I think so. Those are really, really good ideas, and especially people who have these doubts before kind of starting any new activities or new tasks, and specifically people who are associated with work visas and thought about that. And even some people, like, we have the best brains in the market, but they sometimes fall short because of funding related requirements and all. So this is a very good foundation to come join us, discuss the ideas. We'll support you end to end as much as possible. Do you also sort of like, this thought process just came into my mind as you were explaining, in future, and probably you can answer that as part of the next question as well. My last question to you: how do you see the New World Foundation and the IJGIS evolving in the next few years? I know we will eventually get the citation score. I can see a big high citation score getting. We also will get, eventually we'll get the H index and the impact factor of the journal. Apart from that, how do you see it evolving in the next year? You have seen the trends and the patterns, the growth in the last few months.
yeah.
How do you see it evolving? How do you see it competing with the, not really competing, I'll use the word, collaborating with the existing and the established journals in the market? And then the third last question is, what's your call to action for all the people who are not part of TNWF and IJGS, but still listening in, or probably will eventually listen to the recordings later on? So what's your guide to that? And in between that, you can just answer one more question. Do we have scope for IJGS? Do we have a scope for corporate sponsorship? As you mentioned, we are seeking grants as well for TNWF. Do we have scope for corporate sponsorship where we kind of utilize their logo and then seek fundings from them? So if you can just, last question, answer all of them together, and then by that, with that, we'll wind up our podcast today.
Okay, awesome. So yes, we are. So we're talking about what are we doing in the next future? How does it look like? So one thing that we are objective for us is to get Scopus indexed. We
Mm-hmm.
want to get into the best indexes that are available in the world, and one of them is Scopus. There's DOAJ as well, Directory of Open Access Journal, and we want to get indexed there so that we have more visibility. We already are indexed in Google Scholar, but that increased visibility will speak a lot about what is the quality of our journal. It already does, but it will speak a more and give more awareness to the larger community as well, to then come in and understand what we are about, and then make the impact that they want to make. So in this thread, I would also like to mention that for the people who want to join and thinking about what is this about. So think about it is like, as I said earlier, but let me elaborate a little bit on it. Is that your career? It's about your expertise. Your To develop a career, you need some expertise, and to develop that expertise, you need to produce deliberate practice into innovative research and innovation work that you are doing on your own or with other folks, like doing on your own, meaning not through your job, you're doing it separately from your job. So that is an important factor of developing your expertise that anybody who wants to grow in their career, they should, I believe that they should do. There are other ways to grow in your career also. You can be completely um, in your company and just want to grow up the ladder. But even there, I would say that some of the people who are actually doing something extra outside of their job, they will have a more visibility and they will be considered probably more when there is a chance to come in and fill a spot. They probably might be picked over somebody who does not have any
Mm-hmm.
outside influence and expert thought leadership. So even for your career, do it for your career, do it for your expertise, do it for your fulfillment, your purpose. Once you have an expertise and you're working on it, and you're working on it with other folks, you'll feel so much more purpose around your own work in this world, in this life that you're working on. You'll have a lot more meaning about, okay, this is what my life is about, this is what I'm
Yeah,
here to do about,
absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And that is the platform that we want to provide folks, that they think about, they at least get a chance to exercise that part of their psyche to say that, okay, let me do something good for this world and let me see how it goes with like-minded folks who want to also work towards creating those innovations and building their expertise. And yeah, so those are the things that I would say. And looking forward, obviously, impact factor, age index, all those will come. Um I have no doubt in my mind that we'll be one of the top impact factor journals in the coming few years, and
Absolutely.
mainly because, not because of me, not because of anybody, but by the sheer interest that we have seen in this space. This
Mm.
is, many folks are coming in, many folks are jumping in and joining and understand that this is something that is needed in this world. They want to come in and produce that thought leadership. They produce that impact, which is missing in this world really, because of the capitalist nature of the world. I keep coming back to that, but it is the truth that it happens that way. So how can we uh, how can we grow beyond that, probably
Mhm.
as a avenue, and how we can produce the research and expertise to fulfill our own ambitions and also support others get their goals, and yeah, that, and create a probably a new world in which people are researching, innovating, thinking about solutions,
Yep.
thinking about a world where you're you are not just working on your day job, but you are looking into other things that you are interested in. Like, okay, this is my community, this is where I work in, and okay, these are the problems that we are solving in the weekends and the evenings, and yeah, it's a fun thing for us to do.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And yeah, so providing that extra angle to your life, because life sometimes becomes one dimensional also, right?
Oh yeah,
Just
absolutely. Yep.
so this community that we have, it's an amazing community for us. We all want to grow and learn and support each other through the journey of life and career, and doing some good in the way for the benefit of humanity, maybe a world to envision.
Just to add to the point, like most of the members we have are like who are living here in United States. Most of the members in TNWF and IJGIS, we are living the American dream life here. We work 9 to 5. We do the cleanup after the office work, put our kids to bed. After that, what do? For next couple of us, we scroll down the video shorts. We watch Netflix series, we watch TikTok videos, and then close our cell phones, and then we go to bed, wasting our brains. It's okay, like do it for a couple of days in a week, but what about the rest of the days, like 3 4 days, what you're doing? Utilize your brains, your expertise, come up with something, contribute to the society, grow your career yourself, grow intellectually yourself as well. And that's the reason I'll probably just say, like, I'll use a kind of a marketing word, come join us. If
Yeah.
that can be a call to action for everyone. Saurabh, thank you so much. Wonderful thoughts and providing all the details. Uh, Most of the time I was aware of them, but there were some things which you got to notice, which even I was not aware. Being part of the member, being part of the editorial board, as well as being part of the members, the one of the initial members of the TNWF. There are some ideas which you have been uh, hiding. I know 99% you are driving this entire stuff. Even I was not aware. So thank you so much for sharing with me as well as our audience. I hope after listening into this podcast, we'll have lots of interest generation. We'll have lots of people applying and trying to join the both the foundations and the journal. And also we might see some new brains coming into the picture and collaborating and doing that cross collaboration, and see and be part of the journey of the growth of TNWF and IJGS. Sort of, thank you so much again, and thanks for sparing the time on last week as well as this week. We had a wonderful time talking to you. I hope in future we'll call you again on this podcast for something new which you might come up with, because I know you are a restless person. You will keep generating new ideas or new thoughts and put them into action as well. And I am really blessed to be part of this journey along with you, and I hope we see it grow together. Thank you so much, Saurabh. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Fardeen. Really appreciate the talk. Really nice talking to you, and see you next time.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone.